Hi guys, I hope you're good. I hope you're well and excited for our lesson today. We are still working with equations, and today we specifically look at solving linear equations with single term denominators. So we'll be now working with fractions. So we're solving linear equations but fractions this time around. So I hope you grab your pen and paper and get ready for this lesson. So guys, as per our previous lesson, we went through the rules of solving linear equations, and we've also explained what linear equations are. So I'll just go back through the rules with you quickly so that you can use these rules in these rational linear equations that we are working with at this point. So the first rule, guys, always said expand all brackets. So we need to always work with brackets first, no matter what. And secondly, we need to rearrange the terms so that all terms containing variables are on one side of the equations and all constant terms are on the other side. If you can go back to our previous lesson, we've seen that we've managed to put like terms in one side. So if you have variables, you put them in one side, and if you have constant terms, you also put them on one side. And another rule is that group like terms together and simplify. So the second rule and the third rule, it actually explains the same thing, but now the third rule is extended into simplifying. So it's not just grouping like terms on one side and leaving them like that. You need to simplify them. So what do I mean by simplify them? If you have x and 2x on one side, add those two values so that you get 3x. That's called simplifying. If you have 2 plus 2, make sure that you add 2 plus 2 and it gives you 4. That is called simplifying. So you don't just group them and leave them alone. No, you need to also simplify them. And also factorize if necessary. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have to factorize, please do so. Always factorize. And another rule says find the solution and write down the answer. So whenever you're working with equations, you need to always conclude that I found my answer, x equals to 2, x equals to 3. So that conclusion is very important because it shows that you've managed to do everything that you had to do. You needed to simplify, you needed to factorize the end day. So you are done now. So you need to conclude and give them the answer that they've been always asking for. And lastly, check the answer by substituting the solution back into the original equation. So you need to always go back into the original equation. This is for your own sake, actually. You're checking if the question or the problem that you've been working for and the solution that you found, do they match, yes or no? So you need to always check if your answer is correct. All right. So with all these rules, with all this recap that we've just made just now, I need to remind you that we are working with rational linear equations. So it means we are working with fractions and with a single term denominator. So it means you will be looking at now an equation of this form. So for example, if you have to solve an equation of the form 2x 2 over x equals to 3, for example. Now, what you have there is you have x as a denominator, right? So you find yourself with a fraction, and there are rules that you need to apply on working with this type of problems. So if you don't have brackets, it means you need to find another way of working around these problems. So the rule that we use mostly here, it is what we call, let me write it in orange, it's called the cross multiplication method. Okay, so this is one of the rules which is widely used in working with linear equations. Now, the reason why I gave you such a simple one on the first example, I have more prepared for you, but I had to give you such a simple one because I want to introduce cross multiplication method for you. So the cross multiplication method, guys, is always used to ensure that we break down fractions and make sure that we have values on one line. So this simply means that If you have a fraction on one side, ensure that the second side also is a fraction. As you can see, it says 3. But now, how can I write 3 as a fraction? If I want to write 3 and put it as a fraction, it's simply 3 divided by 1. So now you see that you have a fraction both sides. So you just had 3 initially, but now you ensure that you have 3. 2 over x equals 3 over 1. So you have fractions both sides. Rule number 2, that is where cross multiplication comes. So cross multiplication simply means you are multiplying the 1. So you're multiplying a denominator of one side with the numerator on the other side. So that is why it's called cross multiplication. So you have 1 multiplied by 2, and it also means you have on the other side, you need to multiply x and 3. So you have seen that this is how we went. We went numerator multiplies the denominator on one side, and we changed the same thing. So it's denominator multiplies the numerator on the other side. That is what we actually do here. That is what is called cross multiplication. So we are multiplying x and 3. So x times 3 will be 3x. And you bring back the equal sign. What is 2 multiplied by 1? We are going to get 2. Now, it looks straight, the linear that you're used to now. So you need to simply divide whatever value that is disturbing x. Whatever you do on your left, you must do it on your right. So as you can see, we have 2 on one side, so we need to also divide by 2 on the other side. So we have 3, so we divide by 3. We divide by 3 on both sides. So whatever value that is disturbing x, we divide by that value. So we divide by 3, so the 3's cancel, you're left with x, and your answer is 2 over 3. And if you decide to write it in decimals, what is 2 over 3? This is going to be 0.67 and to many other values. But I suggest that you leave it as a fraction like that. It's very clean that way, okay? So I've given you the most basic example now on how to solve linear equations which have a single term denominator. But I have this kind of a surprise for you. So this is an exam type of a problem. On your exam, this is what you'll be dealing with most of the time. But I'm here to assist you on how to break down this problem and make it as simple as possible. So guys, working with this fraction now, we look at what we have and try to get to where we are trying to be. So you have this 3 and you have a 4 that side. So you know that you can take the 3 to the other side, and your equation now will look like this. It will be negative y minus 2 divided by 4. But this is equal to 4 minus 3. The reason why it's minus 3 because the 3 was positive initially. So you find yourself with negative y minus 2 over 4 equals to 1. So you have that problem at this point. So because 4 minus 3 is 1, but now you can't take any value making jump to the other side. You need to ensure that you have fractions both sides. So for you to write fractions both sides, it means you will write this as 1 over 1. Now you see that we have a fraction this side, we have a fraction on the other side. So you have 1 over 1 on one side, and you have minus y minus 2 over 4 on the other side. So it means we can now bring back cross multiplication. So it means I multiply 1 by what you see on top there. So 1 multiplied by negative y minus 2, it's still that same value. So you're going to find yourself with y minus negative y minus 2 equals to, now you cross multiply again, 4 times 1, you find yourself with 4. And you group like terms now, so it means the 2 needs to go to the other side. This is going to be minus y equals to 4 plus 2. The reason why it's 4 plus 2, it was negative, so when it jumps, it becomes positive. And this is y, negative y equals to equals to 6, sorry, because you have 4 plus 2, so 4 plus 2 is 6. However, guys, this is not your final answer because you're looking for y, not negative y. What do? Another important rule is coming up now. So if you find yourself in such a situation where you have negative y equals to 6, it simply means where you see y, on that negative there is a 1 there. So you must divide both sides by -1, -1, so that negative 1 cancels the other -1 and you are left with y equals to, what is 6 divided by -1 is going to be negative 6. So that is how you find the value of y. That is how you simplify these linear equations with a single term denominator. So you bring back your cross multiplication and you will manage to simplify everything out. Now I have one more question for you, which is very interesting, guys. So let's see if you can try to do it. So it says solve for a if 2a minus 3 over 3 minus 3a equals to a over 3. So you have that problem, guys, and we need to find a way to solve it. You group things of the same family together all the time. If you see things of the same family, make sure that you group them together, since we don't have brackets to start with. Okay, now how do I then solve for a in this problem? So I see that my denominator is 3 and my denominator is 3 on the other side. I can actually take this value to the other side, or I can actually make it also to be denominator 3. How do I actually do that? It means I can simply say this is 2 to the power of a minus 3 over 3 minus 3 over a, minus 3a, not 3 over a, so that is minus 3a minus 3a, and now you had a over 3 initially, so it means if it jumps to the other side it should be negative, so this is minus a over 3. So if you remove that value there, you are left with nothing, because a over 3 jumped to the other side, so you are left with nothing. Now I see these values with the same denominators. I can simply say this is 2a minus 3 over 3 minus a, actually let me just write it in one line, minus a, because if you have the same denominators, guys, you can easily just take the numerators and use one denominator, so we don't have to have many values playing around here. So we just took one value. So now you are left with, so we choose now to take the 3a to the other side. So if I take 3a, the negative 3a to the other side, it becomes positive. So this becomes positive 3a. Let me just make it a fraction now over 1. And simplifying this value, it means that you have 2a minus a, so you are left with a and minus 3 over 3 equals to 3a over 1. And now we can easily cross multiply our values so that it's now a straight equation, so it's just a straight line. So it means I multiply what I have up there with that one there. So you are going to have a minus 3 multiplied by 1, so it means you're going to repeat everything else. So this is just going to be a minus 3 equals to, so you multiply the denominator and the numerator that side, so we have 3 times 3, so this is going to be 9a. And now let me just write it in a different pen so that it's not messy here. So you have a minus 3 equals to 9a. And grouping like terms, it means you're bringing back 9a to the other side and taking 3 to the other side. So you will find yourself with a minus 9a equals to positive 3. So your answer becomes positive 3. And what is a minus 9a? So if you're trying to find a minus 9a, you are going to find yourself with negative 8a equals to 3. And you're trying to find the value of a, so it means you need to divide by negative 8 both sides. So divide by negative 8 both sides, so you are left with a. Therefore a is given by negative 3 over 8. That is how you simplify linear equations, which are fractions also. In this case, guys, these things just need you to keep on practicing, keep on practicing, keep on practicing. You won't get them wrong, you won't struggle, you won't suffer working around with this. So guys, please keep on pushing as hard as you can, as much as you can, and trust me, you'll get those thumbs up on your exam. Okay, so guys, see you on the next lesson, and thank you for joining me.